And I give the floor to the representative of the Islamic Republic of Iran.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I would also like to join other delegates in appreciating the efforts of Kazakhstan for the observance of the International Day Against Nuclear Tests. Courageous decision of the government of Kazakhstan in closing down all nuclear test sites in its territory, with no doubt, is a bold and exemplary step in the right direction. Indeed, to rid the world of the danger of a nuclear war and to remove the threats posed to humanity by the existence of nuclear weapons, we need to adopt such practical measures and to stop all kinds of nuclear testing. While after the catastrophic nuclear bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the elimination of nuclear weapons has become the highest priority of the international community, and despite the fact that the General Assembly, in its very first resolution, called for the total elimination of nuclear weapons, regrettably continued non-compliance of nuclear weapon states with their obligation under Article 6 of NPT not only undermines the credibility of the treaty, but also this unpromising development, coupled with the plans of nuclear weapon states to further modernize and upgrade or extend the lives of their nuclear weapons and related facilities, as well as to develop new easy-to-use nuclear weapons, would result in more desperation about the realization of a nuclear weapon-free world. In fact, a nuclear weapon-free world shall not be considered as a world that exists only in our imagination. On the contrary, it should be built by us and materialize in our lifetime. To materialize this noble goal, nuclear weapon states have the primary responsibility. They should stop rhetoric and euphemistic remarks and start adopting practical measures to fulfill their nuclear disarmament obligations. Likewise, the Israeli regime, which possesses nuclear weapons and is the only non-NPT party in the Middle East, shall be compelled to renounce possession of nuclear weapons, to accede to the NPT without preconditions and any further delay, and as a non-nuclear weapon party, and to place promptly all its nuclear facilities under the IAEA full-scope safeguards. As a signatory to the CDPD, the Islamic Republic of Iran, while emphasizing on the importance of this treaty, believes that any nuclear test must severely be prohibited by any means, including through simulation by supercomputers and misuse of subcritical testing, which is against the letter and spirit of the CTBT and the commitment made by the nuclear weapon states. In conclusion, Mr. Moderator, in our meeting, which is held to observe the International Day Against Nuclear Tests, we should also remember July 16th, since the first ever nuclear test explosion has been conducted in such a day in 1945 by a country that also for the first time used nuclear bombs, tested the first hydrogen bomb, and carried out the first test of a dry fuel thermonuclear hydrogen bomb device. A country that conducted the most nuclear tests, possesses one of the largest nuclear weapon arsenals, and still is allocating billions of dollars to conduct developing new types of nuclear testing and to modernize its nuclear weapon. A country which in its nuclear posture review threatened to use nuclear weapons against some NPT state parties. A country that not only shared its nuclear weapons with some NPT state parties and deployed such weapons in their territories, but also assisted the nuclear weapon capability of the Israeli regime, which is the main source of instability and insecurity in the volatile region of the Middle East. A country that, in addition to these cases of non-compliance with its unambiguous international legal obligation, is in clear non-compliance with its legal obligation under Article 6 of the NPT. Now, it is ironic that the country with such a dark history in the nuclear testing, using nuclear weapons sharing, and in obvious non-compliance with its NPT obligation, makes allegation against exclusively peaceful nuclear program of my country as a committed NPT party. I thank you, Mr. Moderator.